Another day, another what in the world is. Today I'm taking a look at Soulstone Survivors. It has been in early access purgatory since November 7th, 2022, and it is developed and published by Gamesmithing Limited. Now, I don't mind when games are in early access for a very long time. However, I do mind when a game is in early access for a very long time and then the developer is starting diversifying the portfolio in multiple projects that are also in early access. So, I don't think it's a smart idea to be picking up new projects when your previous projects are still unfinished. We saw that with Ark Survival. They kind of, I think what they did was they pretty much abruptly released the game because they had something else working on the background. It was like a pirate themed Ark style survival game. So, not a great move in my opinion. However, this doesn't take away from the fact that this game is actually pretty decent. For $10, it is on the expensive side of bullet hell action roguelike games, such as Vampire Survival, or Vampire Survivors, and the Deep Rock Galactic Survivor game. A lot of these games have Survivor in the end of their title, just in case you wanted to make sure that you are playing a bullet hell game. So Soulstone Survivors, what this game is about is pretty much you have a few characters, you go through a few stages, and then you do a few things and kill a few enemies, and then you rinse and repeat. That's just the nature of bullet hell games, where each game differentiates itself from the other entries is that it has unique features to offer you, unique characters, a plethora of characters. It's intuitive. It's creative in its skills and progression, and it just gives you more of a reason to keep you engaged, so that that rinse and repeat doesn't actually feel as repetitive as it actually is. And what I'm trying to figure out here is whether or not Soulstone Survivors has done that. When I first played this game a multitude of years ago, as you can see in 2013, not multitude, okay, exaggeration a little bit, but it didn't have that thing to keep me engaged as much as I would have liked for it to. But it's come a long way. They've added a lot more characters, they've added stages, they've added a few things, and I'm gonna go over all that for a second here. Now, what I do appreciate about this game is that it has save slots, right? You can delete and you can have new save slots, and you can start over if you want to. I don't know why you would want to start over. It just makes no sense. Just kind of, it gives you the option, and I will appreciate that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take anything away from it. So in the menu, I refuse to use the keyboard, the controller, because it is absolute shit. So first of all, as always, I'm gonna look at the options here. You got some general options like auto level up, auto aim, mouse only if you're insane. Tooltips and everything. So it does give you a few options here that you can change. Status effects. I do want to enable all of those just so I can keep track of what is happening here, which is pretty good. Interface, a few options here for the interface. You can also alter the crosshair, which I rarely use the manual aim in the game, but sometimes it can be useful. I know it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, so keep that in mind. You got some key bindings here, which is fine, I guess. You got some graphics options, which are not fine, I guess. You have some screen resolution, quality. Okay, what quality? What? Just give me the options. If you're gonna bundle everything under one, at least tell me what you're doing with it. Special effects, visibility, frame rate, VSync, vignetting. I don't know why this is on. You can see the difference there. You're losing a lot of real estate, but I think during the gameplay you don't actually see that. I'm actually gonna put it to the test. I'm gonna change that in the middle of the game and see why it's even an option. We got language. We have, let's see, Greek is not in here, unfortunately. We got audio, separate sliders for all the options, which is really, really good. And then we got the credits. So I'm going to go into graphics. Okay, vignetting is off. I'm gonna close that. All right, so we have a lot of shit going on here. I don't have the DLC for this game. Is there a DLC in this game? There is no DLC in this game. I misspoke. So let's pop these balloons here. I don't even know if anything happens if you pop them, but I'm gonna try to pop them and see. That's a cool... Oh, never mind, nothing happens. Okay, so let's take a look at the characters here. You have a few characters, clearly not nearly as many as you have in Vampire Survivors, and I'd say by process of elimination you have a lot more, not a lot, but more than you do in Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I wish I did something, but it doesn't. Oh, it's like a piñata. Okay, punch it. So each character has their own subclass technically because they change weapons, and with the different weapon, you change a few of the stats that it gives you or it takes away from you. So for example, this one gives you -5 armor power and -20 maximum health. This one doesn't really do much to give you, but this one also gives you a damage modifier and a cast frequency, which is pretty nice. The more you play a character, the more you level him up, and then the more you level up, the more upgrades you can unlock. So if you go in the blacksmith here, we got the silver spell blade, and then the arcane scimitar for a weapon, and then it gives you kind of a what spells come with that. And you got this basic spell and the special spell. Both of those can be changed as you level up. You don't have to keep either of these, which is really nice about the game. It gives you that freedom, which is appreciated for sure. You can kind of sneak peek on what the next upgrades are. So if you want to invest the time on a character, you can. If you don't like what they give you, you can just kind of skip through it. Keep in mind that you do have to get through a ridiculous level proficiency with each character to unlock the weapons, and also you need to do so with a bunch of them in order to unlock the new map, the new stages, and I'll get to that when we get to the fight. So that's it about the blacksmith there. Runes are runes, I guess. It gives you a few bonuses. As you can see, I don't have many of them unlocked, if any, in reality. You can kind of add them there, and it gives you a few bonuses. I hadn't added all of them for this guy. I'm going to keep using this guy so I can get him to level 50, so because I need 5 of them in level 50. But you get a few options here. You take 15 less damage from all sources, and you're also much more resistant to pushback. You know, there's different upgrades that you can add to your character, and then you also have what is it? How do you change? At least with the controller, it's Y. You can change into different rune options with the Y, but I don't. Oh, okay. I'm kind of stupid. There it is. And then on the skill tree, obviously skill tree. You know what the skill tree is. It kind of gives you global upgrades, and then once you reach a certain proficiency level with your guy, you can upgrade it further. So I don't know the name of this character. What's his name's character? The Spellblade. Okay. So with the Spellblade, I've reached, I believe you have to go to level 20. Yep, level 20 in order to unlock the mastery page there for that specific character. So as you can see, there's a lot. There's a lot of encouragement to keep you to keep you continuing to play the certain character and kind of narrow your focus onto that one character and keep unlocking things. But again, the question I have is whether or not it's even worth it to go through all that trouble. So the more extra levels you get, the more upgrades you can put towards those upgrades. So as you can see, I can only afford 5, and then everything. The more prestige I get for this character, the further I can proceed through. Right now, I don't have any more, or you can reset them, of course, but what's the point? You absolutely need all of those anyway. You have achievements. Good luck, man. There's like 366 fucking achievements in this game. I couldn't even imagine a world where I get all 366 achievements. It would take you hundreds of hours, but then again, I have put hundreds of hours worth of work into Vampire Survivors, so, you know, to each their own. You got the categories here for each achievement, which is pretty cool. And then you got the profile stuff here. It kind of gives you stats, history, your favorite character. This is not my favorite character. This is just what I'm working with right now. All right, let's hit fight here. So in order to unlock this new Cathedral map area or whatever, you have to reach prestige level 50 with a total of 5 characters. Now you can see why I've been focusing a lot on this guy here. I have 34, and then this one is 6, 1, 1, 8. So I'm probably going to continue the ones that I've progressed through. This is a pretty boring character, but what are you going to do? When we fight here, you have a few options on how to, you know, pick each stage. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages. And then you have Curses of the Void. Curses of the Void is additional modifiers that you can enable in order to make it a little bit more difficult for you. You can have them all enabled, or you can have the previous ones as well, or you can have just the new ones. Keep in mind that if you only have the new ones, you're gonna get less bonuses. So for example, this is the Scorching Valley, right? In order to unlock the 3rd tier of curses, you have to beat the map with all previous ones. So yeah, it is optional to have the level 1s, but you do need it enabled to unlock the 3rd tier and 4th tier and so forth. Then you get the 5th tier, which is probably going to be difficult, but that's something this game absolutely needs, because especially in these first levels, the game is quite easy, I would say. Let's see, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try to unlock a new one. So I'm gonna enable all of these. Now luckily, even though it gives you a Bane, it does increase your rewards, so that's not too terrible. Okay, these are the minerals that we're gonna be mining on this map. They are needed for unlocking new weapons for each character. Each map is going to give you a specific type of resource. So there you have it. Let's go back here, select all of these, and then we're going to hit fight. Now, you notice I said something about the difficulty of the game. It actually needs to be a little bit more difficult, and that's true. There's no collision damage, and the enemy attacks are significantly slower than what you would expect. So far, I have had 0 issues playing this game in difficult settings and increased difficulty. So once you have a dodge, obviously you have 2 dodges, and then there's a power up that you can get in order to unlock an extra dodge, which is pretty nice. This is like a portal thing here that you can sit on, and once you unlock more portal charges, you can enable it, and then it gives you an AoE skill. Alright, so this is the first set of upgrades. You have your standard shit for the most part. You got cooldown reduction, you have movement speed, and a magnet, which also increases your experience. I kind of like that the magnet skill and the experience are bundled under one, so it makes it a little bit more valuable. Now I'm just going to go through this, and it usually takes me about 10 minutes depending on what kind of... Oh, shit. My controller disconnected again, and that is a big annoyance now with Windows. I don't know why it's happening. I'm not going to sit through and repair it with my computer. I'm just going to switch to keyboard and mouse. Unfortunately, it sucks, but we got to do what we got to do. Okay, so space is the dodge, and then the WASD keys are going to be your directional key. I tried to pair the controller again, but it didn't work, so I'm just going to keep playing. And here we all have the first set of power-ups here. We got the throwing axe, the spirit trap, and ice vortex. It kind of gives you the stats, so you have the base damage, duration, and damage per stack, and all that good stuff. I'm going to hit the ice vortex because I haven't actually done this before, and the cooldown is pretty good. Actually, it looks like it kind of sucks. I should have picked the throwing axes, but the nice thing about this game is that you really have 0 restrictions on what you keep, right? So let's get the which space would actually select it, but you have to press the number or use the keyboard. Let's see here. So this this rune, I believe, damages the enemies. I thought it did, but it actually doesn't. And there's no collision damage, which means that you can kind of just like breeze through the whole thing. Let's get the magnet upgrade, which is going to help us level up a little bit faster. All right, here we go. We got Frostbolt, we got Combustion, 469 and over 6 seconds, or you can just do this one. I'm just gonna do this one. You can hit the more details so you can get a little bit more of an explanation of what each thing does. I'm gonna get Sub-Zero, and we're just gonna keep playing this game. As you can see, again, the biggest problem with this game, I don't want to sound that multicast. Let's see, do I want 16% for all spells or 48% for that specific spell? I'm gonna go all spell because I'm not really married to that spell. I might change my mind on it. And as you progress around the map, you're gonna see some rock formations that you can destroy. That is going to be your spell, I mean your currency that you can mine on this map. So we got the Rift, and we got the Cleaver is actually pretty satisfying to watch be brought down on the enemies, and when you multicast it and everything, it's going to be even more fun. So let's get the chain there. It's going to help us a little bit more. I don't like how slow each character is, and from this point on, I think I'm going to try to focus on getting a little bit more speed for my character. But it's not the end of the world if you don't. Arcane Beam synergizes a lot with the spells that I currently have. Combustion only with 2, and Arcane Sparks with 2 of them. And I will be probably getting rid of the Ice Vortex. So, I don't know. Arcane Sparks and Combustion emits an aura of fire that applies burn to nearby enemies every 5 seconds. Okay, that's kind of like a 0.5 seconds. That's a pretty cool AoE. Rift Walker increases the amount of astral power gained while inside a rift, and multicast. Wow, for each skill. And then we got cast frequency. I'm actually going to do the multicast on this one, because why not? Okay, leveling up very quickly. It's starting to get a little bit annoying here. Spontaneous combustion and sharp blades. Let's see. I am going to pick this one. Oh, I love this AoE spell. I'm gonna try to level it up as much as I can. It actually does quite the damage. Magic missiles, 60 projectiles, 113 damage, I guess, on each one. We got Bloody Saw and Glacier. And let's try this one and replace the Ice Vortex with it. Let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, I remember that one. It's actually a pretty decent one, so I'm gonna keep it for it, definitely. This is pretty cool how each boss appears on the map. And let's see, ignition. Let's do multicast. So when a boss is summoned, you actually have to kill a number of enemies in order to bring the boss out, and then it kind of like emerges. I think that a comet falls down on the map, and then it emerges from the depths of hell. Doing a lot of damage on this guy. He stands 0 chance. This was an easy one. Getting these modifiers is going to be a piece of cake. So you can replace choices with passive power-ups once you have a group of power-ups that you actually enjoy, and then you can do it once, or you can have it skip active skills automatically, permanently, until you unskip this. So this game is easy and also gives you so much freedom on your power-ups. It doesn't actually lock you through, lock you down in a path. If you take the wrong path, you can easily change it, but keep in mind that, you know, if you change your weapons later in the game, they're not going to be nearly as strong as they would have to be in order to get you through the map. So yeah, you do have the freedom, but there's risks associated with doing so. Keep that in mind. Alright, and now we're getting a little bit cluttered here by enemies, but as you can see, since there's no collision damage, right, you don't have to worry about it. Multicast, of course. Now, what you do have to worry about is those red attacks. You can easily dodge them. It takes more than enough time for you to avoid standing in the circle of those attacks. However, keep in mind that if they do hit you, they do a little bit more damage than the basic attacks that you can very easily avoid if you just keep moving. Now, the nice thing is that even if you... Oh, here we go. I was going to get speed, but this one is going to be a legendary upgrade, so we're going to pick that one instead. And obviously it's going to go for the multicast, as always. It's a small percentage, but it's nice to be able to spell to cast the spell multiple times. Rift Walker, so that I can get more build up on that power up there. Damage modifier. So yeah, this is I'm doing a significant amount of damage on all these guys, and I did forget that this is going to be the first tier. The second tier does get a little bit more hectic, and of course the rest of the tiers I haven't gotten to yet, but I don't think it's going to be a problem, in all honesty. This cleaver, man, is just devastating these guys. So here we go. That's the enemy emerging from the depths of hell. Let's get damage reduction there. And let's see how quickly I can demolish him. Just like the other one. Yep, it's going to be pretty piece of cake. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on the map, and what I am impressed with is the performance of the game. So this performs a lot better than the Deep Rock Galactic one. It actually performs a lot better than Vampire Survivors once you get to those really late stages of the game. Area or damage. Let's go area so we can have a little bit more reach. Multicast, of course. It is incredible how the game basically never falls below a certain frame rate. There's a bunch of crazy shit going on the screen, but the game doesn't really seem to give a fuck about that. And I gotta hand it to the developers, man. They really tackled down the performance of the game, and they've made it nearly perfect. It's gotten to the point where it's so crazy I can't really see anything, but it's not as intrusive as Vampire Survivors is. So if you have played Vampire Survivors, you would know that there's a way that you can combine spells and everything that completely blocks you from seeing any enemies. Right, that game does have actual collision damage, so it is important to be able to see them so you can avoid them. But in this game, since you don't have collision avoidance, you really just kind of have to keep going around circles and hope for the best. That's what I've been doing so far, and it has kind of been working. I haven't really had any issues with that strategy, and I don't think anybody's going to have issues with that strategy either. Just a really solid strategy. Just keep walking, kind of like Dory and Nemo, and just keep swimming, but you're just walking instead of swimming. And this is where the game kind of loses me after a while. So at least now in these early rune levels, you know, these early modifier levels, it's way too easy. Way too easy. I'm starting to get bored, honestly, and I just want the game to be a little bit more of a challenge. Incentivize me to avoid all these enemies. Don't just, you know, the no collision damage is fine. Yeah, on the second rune tier, the second modifier tier, it is challenging, but in a way that it just takes more time. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that it's boring as fuck, you know. Last night I was playing this game. I was in rune tier 2, and I was just going through the motions and everything. I was playing the game as one would, right? This guy's healing at the same time. Holy shit. Okay, I guess the game does need some kind of challenge. So I was playing the game, and I just got bored. So at the end of the game, you have an option of actually either just playing this map infinitely, exiting and saving your progress, or proceeding through to an even higher challenge map, which has you, instead of eliminating regular monsters to bring out the Lords of the Void, the big boss, you have to eliminate elite monsters, which have a little bit more strength and health, and they take a little bit more time to do so. And then you'd have to do that, like, I think it was 10 times or 15 times. I can't remember what it was. Actually, it was 5 or 10 times, but you had to start off by killing 5 elites, and then you have to eliminate 10, and then 15, and then it just increases, and so does the challenge of my patience, you know. So it wasn't difficult. It was just a bore. I was just walking around in circles that I'm doing right now, and okay, nice. We got a third dash. Now I'm sitting here complaining about the game being easy. It's just boring at this point. Like, I'm just walking around. Luckily, very, very luckily, it doesn't take that long of a time to actually beat the level. You're looking at about 10, 12 minutes. That's why I'm not too worried about this video going too long. I'm just gonna keep doing this until it's over, and then I can just throw it on the rendering machine and then just upload it. But I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It's kind of a snooze fest at this point. Nothing is happening. You can see all those red lines I have to dodge, I'm sure. You know, you can't sit in the red line and everything, but even if I do, you know, I'll take a little bit of damage, maybe. Okay, there it is. I took a little bit of damage, but there's healing rocks that you can get that appear throughout the game. There we go, agile. Let's get a little bit faster. Get these things moving a little bit. And here's the boss fight. He's gonna try to do something, but he's not going to do something. You know, it's whatever. It is exactly whatever. I do like this damage, the AoE weapon that I got. I get it for the first time, and I haven't actually seen many AoE weapons in this game, and it's really nice to see that. So I guess, you know, that's a little bit of a redeeming factor there. Now this void thing, yeah, now it's spawned a little bit further away from me, but usually it spawns right on top of me, and even though I don't want to touch it, I kind of have to. So as you can see, oh, I'm taking a little bit of damage there. Speaking of the devil, the game did just become a little bit more challenging than it was, but not too much. Alright, let's pick up some resources here to use for upgrades later. Yeah, that void there, it spawned a little bit further away, but usually it spawns right on top of you. And as you can see, I have one of the 4 slots filled for the purple slots there in the middle, right above my health. And the more you get, the more damage you will be outputting once you pick up that rift power up, inevitably. So you might want to refrain from picking it up for a while, just so you can do a little bit more damage. Just my suggestion. You can pick it up immediately if you want and start dishing out the damage. Arguably, it might be worth it to do that. If you pick it up more often, you get to deal damage more often, so it kind of offsets how long it might take for you to get to level 4 for it. But I want to try to wait at least level 2. But you know, the challenge, of course, with that is you got all that damage coming in. It's not going to be easy to stand in the circles and level it up. So here we are at level 2. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm actually going to dish out a lot of damage here. So it does do a lot of damage. It's a very useful power up. I don't know why it's happening. I think it's one of the runes that I picked up. Honestly, I could not tell you, because I have no idea what this rift power up is. But it's here. It's staying. Can't change it. Can't do anything about it. So we're out at 11 minutes now, and I just need one more enemy to beat, and I need to kill 600 monsters in order to bring it out. Not a big deal. Now, I do want to preface that if you continue after the end of the map, after you reach the end, if you continue further down into the void and you pick the red skull that takes you into that arena, you will get a significant jump in prestige points for this character. So you're going to level them up very, very quickly. If you're trying to just level up characters and just try to rush it and unlock the new area, that's going to be the way to do it. And it's just going to be so fucking boring. Just be prepared for a snooze fest. That's all I'm saying. Now I want to touch on the performance a little bit. As you can see, a lot of crazy shit is happening on the screen, and I'm still sitting at a very, very comfortable frame rate. There's a little bit of a hiccup here and there. It's kind of like a freezing or stuttering, rather. It's not that much, and I suspect that the performance is so good because, well, the world is small and very, very simple. You know, where's that health power up? I got it already. So this is the right edge of the map, and it's gonna take me very little time to get to the left. I'm on the center of the map already, and I'm just gonna keep going. It's gonna be an equal amount of time. There we go. Just reached the other end of the map. So it was not that big of a deal to get to the end of the map. And I don't know if it's an actual square. I believe it's a square, because getting to the bottom also does not take too much time. So I think it's a good thing. It doesn't need to be overly complicated, too big for its own good. It's not cluttered with nonsense and things that you're not going to be utilizing at all. So it's fine. It's not a bad thing that it's small, actually. It's kind of a good thing. So the boss just appeared, and I'm going to wait for them to get to me before I pick up the Rift power-up. Actually, let me just pick it up right now. And I'm going to get... Oh, he's the Flame Mignon. Flame Mignon. Not Filet. I'm just gonna whack at him and try to beat him as fast as possible. Obviously, a lot of shit is going on right now, and it is getting a little bit hectic. I can't see my character. I can't see any red lines. It's just crazy. It's pandemonium. But it still stands. I don't have to do much. I just have to keep moving. I have to not stand still, and I have to dodge from time to time. You know, and just keep walking. There we go. That's all the monsters. You might be thinking, why do I care about these final power-ups? Well, if you do want to keep going, you have to care. So, yep, Red Skull will take you even further, increase your rewards output, obviously, and also it will give you more prestige points. So, I'm just going to exit. I showed everything I had to show about the game. It's up to you if you like it. I only got, let's see how many. Did I get to 40? I did not even get to 40. And I need to get to 40 in order to unlock the third weapon. That's okay. Maybe next time I can do the skull. Hopefully next time my controller is not going to disconnect randomly in the game and make it a little bit more challenging for me to play it. But there we go. Got some achievements. That's it. That's Soulstone Survivors? Yeah, Soulstone Survivors. I hope they finish the game. You know, you click fight, you see the 2 maps here. You know, you need maybe 1 more. Ideally 2 more. Vampire Survivors has shit ton of maps and a few DLCs. Maybe they're gonna save the future maps for the DLC. I want to get to a point where I at least unlock the Cathedral and kind of see what the Cathedral is all about. But yeah, man, it's just boring at this point. And unfortunately, when I played the Caves of whatever the fuck, there was a bug with the game that didn't actually count me unlocking the 3rd tier, because I was on the 2nd tier and everything was checked, and I went into the skull portal, and I wasted, you know, an extra 45 minutes of my life just walking around until I can kill the enemies, only for the game to not count it. And I know it didn't count because they just released a patch for the game, and in the notes that fix was mentioned. So am I gonna try that again? Probably the fuck not, because I don't trust that they say that they fixed it. But you know, if you want to, you can. But there you have it. This was Soulstone Survivor. It's 10 bucks, full price, on the expensive side again, but it is $7 right now at 30% off. I believe the historical low, yep, the historical low was 35% back in May at $6.50. You might want to wait for that one, or, you know, 50 cents is whatever, but I am pretty sure this is probably going to go at half price pretty soon. It's bound for one, maybe on the next Steam sale, who knows. But there you have it. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.